I often get asked to recommend gear within a specific budget. For some, it's $100. For others, the sky is the limit. A few weeks ago, a subscriber asked if I could recommend a setup for around $1,500. I thought about this question and decided that maybe it is time to make a video. Today, let's talk about my $1,500 challenge. What gear would I personally get, and why? Before we start, we need to lay down some basic rules. First, I will discuss the $1,500 challenge, obviously, but I will also highlight gear I would use at $500 and $1,000. Second, the goal is not to exceed these three numbers. However, I cannot account for shipping and taxes, so I will not take that into consideration. A lot of other reviewers who do these challenges tend to aim for the limit, but I'm not going to. Just because we can spend up to a given number does not mean we should. Third, obviously there are plenty of options in the market. The products I will talk about are not things you must buy. Instead, this is stuff I would use, and my explanations why I would. Fourth, in each price bracket, I will talk about DACs, amps, headphones, and IEMs. The goal will be to have a full rounded system. If you're not into IEMs, then you can use more money towards other stuff, for example. Finally, I want to discuss my thought process for why I picked each product in the given price category. This will hopefully give you an idea why I made certain choices. Keep in mind that just because I mention one product does not mean I reject all other options. These are merely examples out of convenience. Alright, now let's get right into it. To me, there are clearly two obvious choices for Ampdax where the $500 bracket is concerned. I would pick the Topping NX4. It has plenty of power and will work with a wide gamut of headphones and IEMs. This is a plug-and-play device and can be used with your computer and mobile devices. The NX4 is ancient news, but you can find it for relatively cheap. Brand new, I think they went for around $150 and are still easily available if you look around. I briefly thought about using the hifi hip DAC, but the battery life is just abysmal and I truly dislike the large USB connector. If you want a desktop solution, then I would recommend the hifi Zen Dac. At around $150, this is a no-brainer. It's powerful enough for 300 ohm headphones, has the bass boost function that a lot of people love, and it is well made. My headphone would be the Bass Audio G12. I reviewed this headphone a few years ago and still love it. The only unfortunate aspect is that it uses Grado-style earpads and those will not suit everybody. The G12 has a balanced sound with a surprising amount of bass for an open-back headphone, and it's built by a small company in the United States. At a sale price of $150, this would be my pick. However, its MSRP is $350 and clearly would not fit in our budget. An alternative to the G12 is the Akg K371. I am not a supporter of the argument to make the Harman Target the standard, but AKG's headphone is hard to reject. It's built really well, now that their QC issues have been dealt with. It's comfortable, easy to drive, and provides a warm sound signature. At the moment, it is on sale for $100 and is definitely a bargain. For an IEM, I would go with my trusted Moondrop Quarks. I truly love these little things. They have a neutral sound, are easy to drive, and fit fairly well. And the Quarks cost just $12. Yeah, there are plenty of alternatives in the market, and you could come up with a bunch of stuff you think is better, but that's on you. For me, this setup costs a total of about $262 before taxes and shipping. This leaves plenty of wiggle room to experiment with IEMs, ear tips, ear pads, and most importantly, gives you plenty of money to spend on buying music you love. My DAC amp choice for the $1,000 budget is an easy decision. Without doubt, it is the Topping EX5. While others are busy fussing over specs of higher priced gear, the EX5 remains one of the best value DAC amps around. You get support for all audio resolutions, all Bluetooth codecs, balanced output, and a powerful amp. And all of this for just about $350. In head-to-head A/B comparisons, stuff that costs many times more do not have any audible difference against the EX5. For my headphone choice, I would select the Avantone Planar. This $400 headphone is fairly neutral, comfortable, well-built, and shows that you do not need to spend audeze level prices to get excellent performance. Of course, the Planar could use a few improvements, particularly with the headband mechanism. But it's one of my favorite headphones and a standard by which I test others. This leaves us $250 for IEMs or other miscellaneous stuff. Having thought about this for quite a while, I'm just repeatedly driven towards the Final Audio B2. But this IEM is $50 over the budget, and I cannot break the rule that I already set. So, the other IEM I'm partial towards is the WG-T2 Tesla Dynamic Driver. Oh boy, that rolls off the tongue. I reviewed this several months ago and just really enjoy its fit, style, and sound. It is clear, detailed, yet not analytical. It does not shove sibilants into my ears, and for me, has a good balance of bass. This IEM currently costs $150. I don't think there's anything else I would want to add to this list. This leaves us about $100 to spare for music, earpads, or a nice dinner. Now, we are at the original question that was posed to me. What gear would I buy for a $1,500 budget? This is a really hard question, and it's a head-scratcher for me. That's because there are a number of really great products around the $1,000 mark, and I want all of them. If I were to put more emphasis on the source, then I'd spend more money towards a DAC amp. If, however, I wanted to concentrate on headphones and IEMs, then I'd happily use the topping EX5 and save a bunch of money on my source. So this $1,500 question I think I will answer in a couple of ways. If I were to place more importance on my source, then I'd have to pick between the RME 80i2 DAC and the Matrix Audio Mini I Pro 3. The RME is a beast. It does what no other DAC amp in the market does. You can spend triple the price of the RME and not get anywhere close to what this thing has to offer. But at $1,200, it takes up a huge chunk of the budget. The Mini I Pro 3 is a super EX5. It does what the EX5 already does, except that it also has streaming service support. Apple AirPlay and Roon are integrated, and this is so far the cheapest of such devices. The Pro 3 is powerful, incredibly well built, and easy to use, but it also costs just over $1,000. This does not leave much room for headphones or IEMs. Given the $300 to $500 restriction for headphones and IEMs, I'd pick the following: the HT6XX and the Eco OH2. The 6XX is about $200 and easily fits into any environment and music preference. Yes, you can find clearer, more detailed, more comfortable, better built headphones, but it's really hard to argue with a design that has lasted as long as the HD6 line from Sennheiser. The OH2 is well accessorized, well-fitting, neutral sounding. It is built intelligently and has a unique profile I have not seen elsewhere. It costs $80. This still leaves a bit of money to spend on other things. Now, if I placed less importance on my source and more on the headphones or IEMs, then my selection would be the following. I would take the topping EX5 at $350. As I said earlier, this is a perfectly good product that just undercuts a huge chunk of the competition. This is a prime example of what topping and SMSL should be producing, and it is situated at exactly the right price. Now, with $1,150 left to spend, I would pick either the Beyerdynamic T1 2nd Gen or the Shure SRH 1540. The T1 2nd Gen can now be found around $600, but typically retailed for closer to $1,000. The 1540 is $500 brand new. It's really tough for me to pick one over the other, but since I have to, I think I would take the 1540. The deciding factor for me is not the impedance. After all, the EX5 can easily drive anything. Instead, the deciding factor is comfort. The 1540 is just more plush, more comfy, and Shure actually provides more accessories such as spare earpads. As for my IEM, well, I'd pick the one I was being pulled towards in the previous price bracket. I would take the Final Audio B2 without hesitation. I just love how this IEM sounds, fits, looks, and feels. Final Audio clearly put a lot of thought into the construction, and the stupidly simple cable is a testament to their dedication. This is the least microphonic, most pliable cable I have ever used. Oh, and Final Audio throws in a bunch of ear tips of various shapes to keep you busy. The B2 costs $300. The total in the headphones first subcategory is $1,050. But I've got $450 to spare, and I know exactly how I would spend that leftover cash. I would put that leftover cash towards a Sony A55 digital audio player. The A55 has its own secret sauce for DSP functionality, and it actually works. It's small, powerful enough for most headphones, and would easily drive the 1540. I could use it as a portable DAC with my PC, and it is small enough to pocket without any trouble. The A55 can be found for about $300, and if you can live with some scuffs and scratches, then you can pick it up for cheaper on eBay. There you go. My answer to what would you buy? I'm fortunate enough to have a lot of gear, and I'm continually trying new stuff. Some things I truly love I could not put on this list. For example, I adore the Audeze LCD2 Pre-Phasor, but those are long discontinued, and it would not be fair to throw it into this video. I also thoroughly love my Wu Audio WA7 Fireflies and Border Patrol DAC, but both are really overpriced and just don't offer enough to justify their price tags. You have to be a collector to get into this sort of stuff. I'm also partial towards Monolith's planar headphones, particularly the M1570. But Monolith's silly cable problem and the headphone's wonky fit let it fall short for a list such as this. And of course, I am happy with the Dark Voice 336, Felix Audio Euphoria, and all my other gear. But this challenge was about what I would pick given a precise budget. Moreover, my views here are based on my experiences. I made these picks because of all my trial and error. I'm not a subjectivist or objectivist. I don't believe either extreme position, and consequently do not buy into the nonsensical measurement hype or the emotional mumbo-jumbo. Ultimately, my list reflects my core belief that an audiophile is a person who enjoys music first and is concerned about gear least. If you're happy with what you have, then don't buy anything else other than music.